I'm Jerry the Music Man, Yukon caster, ECS owner, ECS staff match winner ×2. And I'm here to tell you today, in my dressing gown, that this is it.
This is the final stage of the Elite Championship Series 2021 winter season.
After an intense league season, the top-bracketed teams from our open contenders and major division will be battling it out for a total prize pool.
€800.
800 euros.
And being crowned ECS Winter 2021 champions.
It won't be easy.
In past matches, we have seen major teams fall to the likes of Open Team.
Hang on, I need to change this bit. Up to it won't be easy. All that is good.
Only time will tell who our champions will be.
The final stage of the league is made up of a simple elimination bracket.
2 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals, a loser's final, and then the game everybody has been waiting for.
The staff show match.
Cut there. Start getting in.
I mean the grand finals.
Across stage 1 and 2, we've seen the mighty Paragon and the Last Resort, both contenders teams, make their way through to the final stages to face the very best of the major division. You can cut there. Why can't I get this one? Okay, another cut there. That was a bit awkward. I mean, it's all awkward, but I'll do it again.
See someone in the corner? No, he doesn't. Does he know of this? This could be huge, and he does get found. No, he doesn't. Bruno with the 180 as Azor gets one and gets.
Can maybe expand to, but Nuddle's going to be rotating. He does it. He catches 2. That's going to be Monks, and Kusik wiped off the board. That was a double, nearly a collat.
Off the defenders. So it could work well for the smoke. Dropping the hats. The attacker, Kariudo, getting a double, dropping into freezer, completely unaware. And he gets a quad in total.
It's an ace.
He gets the ace. Kariudo drops into
even
freezer.
if he does, so dynamic that even if they do manage to grab this diffuser, which they look like they're about to, does pick up 1 kill for himself and win. But Bill will set the diffuser down beneath that hatch. Ash now has to do double duty, trying to cover from the pinch, and she will do it perfectly. Kaz with the swing on both defenders.
There's go, but he's not going to spot the player by AK. No, Texrolo sneaks on in, and he's going to be able to get one of Choco. Can't find 3 as the Legion's going to walk on in. He gets the yellow ping, but can't. Or he's going to be able to get Frenzy. 2 more to go. He's going to be able to get it all. 1 more on Junior. Can he hold it out together?
So before that, Hazard left DBNO will finally be cleaned up as well, and just like that, TLR.
So, without further ado, fasten your seatbelts.
It's time to dance.
Ready your angled grips.
It's now or never.
Hold on to your hats.
Now let's head over to our desk. Jerry out. Hello there. I'm Jerry the Music Man. You can...
Hi, welcome to ECS quarterfinals. It's me, Yannick, also known as Tinder Level 10. A little bit of a laugh after the last video. I'm very, very sorry. But next to me, a new face for you guys going to be Fellow the caster. Welcome to ECS. Welcome across the pond, actually. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing phenomenal. Just got home from class, and what a better way to have it than just start casting right up with a brand new face. So it's a pleasure to have me on here. I'm really happy to be around here in ECS. But got a great lineup for tonight. It's going to be RCTIC versus the Last Resort, and then this is a quarterfinals match. They'll be moving on to the semifinals that will be up against Creed. I believe that was Lions Creed. Yes. See, it's still a little new to these teams, so cut me some slack here, chat. Don't butcher me because I'm from NA, please. It would hurt my little heart.
I'm sure I'll do fine today, man. It's I mean, you're filling in some big shoes, though. Yesterday being, I think it was Whippet and McCready. They left an awesome cast last time. Absolutely amazing. So, got some big shoes to fill. But yeah, TLR versus RCTIC, or the Last Resort, as you've called it. Amazing game. I expect a barn burner of a game, to be honest. So, TLR, of course, with their new pickup of Courage. Well, new. It's been there for a couple weeks now. Got some time to evolve within his team, kind of get some kind of team cohesion going, but he's been going absolutely wild with that, actually getting some amazing plays. So yeah, no, TLR looking absolutely amazing. But actually I have some player stats for you. So if our lovely producer Grism, he's behind the scenes today, an amazing man, love him. See if you can do good at what he can do. Just he can get us the player stats, maybe. Well, yes, there he is. So you want to look at RCTIC's lineup?
Yeah, absolutely. And they are the one up above, not the one lower, correct?
Yes,
I still also don't know the logos as well. Okay. So far we have Civ. I believe that's how you pronounce it. You can always correct me too.
It's Svinu. It's Svinu.
Svinu, okay. Yeah, this is going to be really rough for me. I greatly apologize, guys. I'm butchering your names. Not the best rating overall, but you can see he's rocking that support up of Smoke, so he's playing a little bit more of an anchor position. Makes a lot of sense. The 1 rating on NW, he's going on the entry, so observers, make sure you look out for him. He'll be getting those flashy plays here and there. Tricky, no rating at all. That's probably just a dud. Maybe he's a new player. Not 100% sure, but probably won't be that big of an issue. Kusik on another entry as well, on the Malusi and Zofia, so he's definitely NW's right-hand man during most of the action phase. Makes a lot of sense. And then Monks as well on a Malusi operator as well with a rating of 1.24. So overall, not too bad of a lineup from what I can gather as of right now.
Indeed, and I just do see that this operator of the player lineup is not truly 100% correct just yet, as it does seem that Zvinu has been subbed in with VIP. We all know VIP, at least if you've been watching ECS for the last couple of weeks. VIP has been absolutely going insane, getting kills left and right. He's the real fragger of the team. Sad. I think if his rating was on here, we would have seen some amazing KDs, but that's that for RCTIC. Let's move on to TLR. You see Hazard. I keep saying Hazard. You have to think about that footballer, maybe for your soccer player, but it's Hazard. He has a 1.15 rating and a 1.27 KD. Obviously, the entry fragger, looking at those operators with the Hibana and the Jaeger. Oculus, though, is not doing too hot this season. He does seem to like the Ashe on attack, but more of a support role on the defense with that Wamai pick. I mean, it's only the question really is if Wamai is going to be left in play today. We've got some 3 amazing maps, but more on that later, as we are going to just move through this player list just right now. Panicky, doing pretty well, 1.04 rating, very solid, good KD as well. Iana on the entry, and Kaiju and Kaiju and K5, I think they're the same player, if I'm not mistaken. Both don't have any ratings, but they're different players, but they both don't have ratings, so there's not much you can say about that. But if you look at the rest of the team, TLR looking very, very good, especially with those ratings and those KDs.
Yeah, even though they actually have less players filled out, so their entry roles, they do a little bit more work than anticipated, but that's always a lovely sight to see. But I think it's only a matter of time before we head on in toward the map bans and looking to see what has actually been picked for this best of 3. We've got a great setup. A lot of barn burner maps as well. Going to be moving on there in just a few seconds, and there we have it. So Oregon up front, or as I like to call it, Borgen, because it's played so often in the competitive pool. And then followed up Villa, which isn't always brought on the board, but still incredibly defensive heavy. Very similar to Oregon in most extents. And then a great decider map, Consulate. Probably one of the most 50-50 sided maps in the R6 pool. So at least we'll have an interesting third map if we go to it.
Indeed, Consulate is it's an amazing map. 50-50, as you said. There's no real favorites in that map. Although it's gotten pretty old now. It's definitely one of the older maps in the map pool, and they did add that Tellers and Server bomb site later on in the game, but it's one of the default maps, one of the maps that came with the game. So if you go back to version 1.0, you'd see Consulate just as you'd see it today. So a lot of time, a lot of strategies have been worked out, and some would say it's a kind of a map that's been fully fleshed out, and everybody knows what they can do on that map. But that's going to be our decider. First of all, it's going to be Oregon. As you said, Borgen. I do very much agree with that. It's a map that we've seen a lot of time.
Resident
exactly.
Sleeper.
Yeah, Resident Sleeper.
That's what Twitch chat says, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I definitely agree with that. RCTIC's pick. We'll see how that's all going to work out. TLR starting on defense though, so they're going to have the upper hand on that. What do you think we'll see on Oregon today? I mean, if you what do you see in regards of bans? What do you expect? You're from NA, of course. It's a bit different. You have different meta over there.
Slightly, but it's about the same for EU and NA. LATAM, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. That is a whole nother dimension, my friend. But I think you're right about the Wamai pick because a lot of these players like to pick him as a comfort op, and that can open up a couple of more avenues of approach. So that could be a possibility, not entirely sure, but the staples of almost every map on R6, a Thatcher and a Mira, that's almost a definite. We might see another hard breacher as well, like an Ace or possibly a Maverick, for example, just to make the attacker's job a little bit more difficult, but that's probably what it's going to be like. I'll almost double down here. Thatcher, some type of hard breacher, most likely the Ace, and then the Mira and Wamai. Most likely that.
I honestly couldn't agree with you more. Kaid, I see it, yeah. Honestly, I'd expect the Kaid more over the Wamai, but that's just my my two grains of... I don't know, I'm not good with American... It's like, not American, just English... English... I'm not from an English-speaking country, if you can't tell, but, well, I'll leave that behind us. But yeah, no, the bands do look pretty good. Oregon is, as I've said, a very defensive-sided map. Not very, depends also on the bans. If Thatcher is banned and you get a Heartbreacher ban, it sways towards the defense side quite a lot, especially upstairs. Especially downstairs. With that blue push, a lot of teams just kind of struggle with that. If you got one player playing an extend and elbow, it's just a really tough spot to go through.
Completely agree. It's the most difficult site to actually attack, in my personal opinion, but we're not going to have to speculate that much longer as to how difficult it's going to be, because we'll just hop right into the game. I believe everyone is actually rated up, and a community prediction, which I don't think actually went through into effect, so let's just call it a 50-50, unless I'm wrong. Oh, no, it is correct? Alright, I'm so sorry. That is, I'm sorry for bashing production. That's my fault. You can make fun of me all you want, chat, but it's a 50-50. I'm actually quite surprised as to how even that was. And the first band coming on out, drum roll please, it's going to be a Thatcher. That's not a surprise whatsoever.
Not at all. And just going back to the 50-50 community prediction, I think that just shows how much the community even thinks this is going to be a barn burner. These two teams closely contested. Of course, they're in the quarterfinals. It's do or die now, as the Heartbreacher is getting banned. As predicted, the Hibana gone by the hands of RCTIC. They have banned her out. We're not going to be seeing any Hibana pellets being used this map.
That's the Queen of Hatches gone. Now Maverick is still on the board, so that's going to probably be his job when attacking that basement floor that me and Yannick have mentioned previously. And the Mira band that I also mentioned a moment ago will be on the chopping block. That also makes a lot of sense. She is so strong on most, if not every site on Oregon. So just getting her out of the picture is a great idea. It makes your life a little bit easier. But the final ban, we could still see that Wamai, because now Kaid being off the board, actually no, because Maverick is still in effect, so we might need that Kaid ban to make his life a little bit easier, and I caught myself stumbling, and I ended up recovering from it, so I will be correct at the very last moment. Kaid will be off the board, and this is a pretty default ban phase for the most part on Oregon, Yannick.
Indeed, I haven't seen many Hibana bans, to be honest, but yeah, no, other than that, definitely a default ban, yeah. As much more default, we're going to make a lot more default. TLR going upstairs first. We are seeing the pick phase coming through. And sadly, with the new update to Rainbow Six Siege, the scoreboard's going to be a bit, and the timer, excuse me, is going to be a bit hidden, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal just now. But teams are now making their picks, solidifying it, maybe a 6-pick coming out, but nope, none of that game playing, sorry, that mini game of 6 picking. Sorry, I'm just really stumbling over my words. Please help me here. Take it over.
A little bit of a juggling contest, I guess.
Exactly.
And we're not going to see that happen. Yeah, it's okay. I'm very quick-witted. I love being I'm not going to say the word out loud. It's very inappropriate to say, but chat probably knows. But like you mentioned, top floor going to be the first site defended up. Pretty decent lineup for the most part. We do have Courage on the Valkyrie, so he'll probably be on a very deep and extensive roam, and he can gather a lot of intel, and maybe that can be utilized later on into this first round for a possible plant denial, because every now and again you'll see the kids push come in from attic side or foosball, for example, and just go for a possible default plant. Makes a lot of sense to happen, so Valkyrie is a great counter for that, and there's still plenty of utility on the side of Last Resort, even though we've been seeing that transition further and further away from the old school 20-second meta that was so prominent a few seasons ago.
Indeed, we've kind of moved away from that, yeah, as you've said. But yeah, still a lot of utility burn, especially those Malusi gadgets, are going to be really, really tough to push through. If you're stuck for time, you only have 20 seconds to go, or like 30 seconds to go, those Malusi traps going to be the end of the round. Panicky here might go, Panicky, sorry, might go for a cheeky spawn peek, but he gets droned out, and rightfully and correctly assumes to just go away, and that's probably the smart decision to take at that point. Pulling out, but not going all the way out just yet. Still sitting there as a little pesky roamer in the bottom of tower.
still be able to waste a lot of time. He's doubling down. He's not going to push all the way just yet, but he's beginning to backpedal just a slight bit, and now he'll transition on out in towards the meeting room. He's wasted about a minute on the clock, so a pretty decent roam for the last resort, but now RCTIC has full control of Attic. You can hear those Selmas just being put up from behind, but it's an impact trick. It was actually being detonated from Closet, and it will be counteracted perfectly by Courage with his impact grenades. They'll finally be detonated, though, only prolonging the inevitable, but a relatively smooth and steady start for RCTIC. But Panicky, he's coming back on the deep roam. C4 comes out. It will be denied, though. Tricky with a huge double kill to start things off strong for RCTIC.
RCTIC getting accused double kill. At least Tricky did. One through in Attic. That's the smoke dead. It's huge. K5 answers back with one, and maybe Courage with another one. He's going to push up. He gets the Ash, but does one more in Attic, and he goes away. Smart choice there from Courage, as he did get his one kill, and he swings it back just ever so slightly into TLR. But still have 1 minute 20 to go, and RCTIC are one man up, and we still have a side push to go. More breaching being done, more utility being burnt. It's all down to the time here. As we're going to see just in a couple of minutes how things are going to work out. But Courage gets one on the VIP, and that's a huge kill. Could get another one. The ace here within seconds. Goes for the peak, but does not hit the ace.
Now there's a minute on the clock, and things are evened up. This is huge for Last Resort. They only have to stall for about 50 more seconds, and now RCTIC is put on that back burner. See Kusik getting a little bit aggressive. He'll peek around the corner very dangerously, breaking down that barbed wire. ADS eating the first smoke grenade, but he's got a second in his back pocket. That can allow for the plant to go down if NW can cover, but he's in a horrible spot. Hazard will work off of that huge mistake, and now NW is trapped inside of Kids in a 1v2, and he's already on about 40 HP. This is not looking good for the lone Maverick player, as both Hazard and Courage have already repositioned in such a perfect way. Hazard ending off the lone player of NW, and that's going to be the first round win, favoring the Last Resort. Magnificent comeback on the first round.
Indeed, a magnificent comeback. That double kill from Tricky of the Ash inside T1. Absolutely amazing. Excuse me, T2. Just getting the person in Attic and instantly switching over to the person coming on the flank. TLR was down 2 men. But they did not give up. They kept their head up high, came back, and fought back, and that's exactly what they did, and they reaped the benefits of it, ultimately winning the round, putting NW in that 1v2 situation.
And there was a huge mistake. NW couldn't cover the plant. He was in a horrible spot to try to deny the defenders of refragging another occasion. It was just a series of unfortunate events and a series of tremendous events on the opposite side for Last Resort, and they'll mark it off of it perfectly. Now heading to most likely, or probably considered, the best site on Oregon. It's the basement one of Laundry and Supply, and Wamai will in fact be brought on the board by Panicky, as we did predict a moment ago. The double denial, a great combination, might I add, so we will see that blue bunker extension. That's gonna burn so much time off the side of RCTIC, but they can, of course, not even opt to go to Blue Bunker and instead go for a back stairwell and freezer-sided push, instead to completely throw Last Resort off guard.
Indeed, if they could just get a couple drones in there and see that. They've got my discs, they've got a smoke playing there, 2 Jaeger ADSs, maybe even 3 set up there, and maybe a Valkyrie cam. They could just decide to totally negate that, just skip all the utility put in by TLR and just go the other side. But it's all up to RCTIC to see what their game sense tells them. What is the smartest decision to make, and they are the only people that can make that decision. So we'll see how that's all going to pull out, or how that's all going to work out for them, as we're going to see them taking T2 very quickly. Of course, having some pre-placed drones there to help them out.
They're going to go for a slight roam clear first and foremost, which I don't blame them. A lot more teams are not going to have a full 5-man on into sight, but Tricky will find the opening frag on a Panicky. A great entry, as that is so much active utility down the drain. Sorry about the little throat stutter there, but RCTIC again claiming the man advantage early on. Tricky proving the point that he is a phenomenal entry on the attacking side. That's going to allow Maverick to get that hatch opened up, and Tricky again finding the double kill for himself, now going 4-1. This is a great start once more for RCTIC. Let's just hope that they don't mess it up in the middle game of this second round.
K5 with a little bit of an aggressive peek through the hatch there. Could almost see the Maverick. Didn't tag him just one bit. He only needs one bullet to kill him, or at least in the DBNO state. So Maverick is threading on a needle here. So we're going to see how this is all going to work out for him just yet. But the Wamai being off the board is huge, as you've touched on just now. His active utility, he generates those over time. So that time is now all gone. That's probably one of the only Wamai discs that have been thrown out, as it does get eaten up by the smoke of Kusik. Kind of a weird play there from Kusik.
He literally looked at it, but a huge double kill for Hazard. K5Z following suit, and the tables have turned once more. The last resort. They have the man advantage yet again, and it's all up to Kusik and NW in a 2v3 history just repeating itself on the first hand. And now NW has to get quite aggressive, trying to peek on in towards 90 corner. Hazard with a 3K. He won't find 4, as he'll get shut down by Kusik now in a 1v2. This is still winnable, of course, for the lone ace player, but it's a huge task to handle by oneself. He uses Selmas to break off that back wall near E-Box that will give him audio coverage to rotate on out in towards main hallway. It'll work out perfectly, but the refrag is far too strong. K5Z will finish him off with a headshot with that MPX, and another round win will favor the last resort, now 2-0.
2LR 2-0 up on the defensive side. Not anything else than we would expect from anyone defending Oregon, especially with these bans, the Thatcher and Hibana ban. We expect the defense to win at least the 2 default sites, as we're now going to be moving on to the tertiary realm side of Kitchen and Meeting. But yet again, Tricky with the same double kill he had in the first round. He repeated, history, as you said, repeated itself there. And yet again, it was one person stuck in the 1v2. It's almost an identical round. The only thing that was switched was the people dying, and the order of people dying, and the bomb site.
Yeah, but I will have to add a little bit more to that segment. Kusik almost won that. He used
True.
the Selmas for audio cover, which was spectacular play, don't get me wrong. And he found a frag off of it, but he couldn't find both of them at the exact same time. It was a great re-peek by K5, being aware of Ace's positioning. It was a perfect bait and switch combination, and the last resort just had a great execute upon it. So now they're going to go up 2-0, and they're heading in towards Meeting Room and Kitchen. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this site, but technically, it is still better than Dining Room, even though you can extend on out in towards the showers area. Do you mind maybe explaining that a little bit further, Yannick? Because I am honestly just a Dining Room and Kitchen stan, but I have been told so many times that it's actually still the lesser site of both of them.
Honestly, I've got to totally agree with you. In all of my ranked games and unranked games, I thoroughly prefer Kitchen and Dining, and Meeting, of course, is a valuable site, and TLR are probably going to show that right here, as they have chosen it and they have a strat on it, so they are familiar with this site. At least I'd hope so. You wouldn't choose a site you're not familiar with. But yeah, I'm trailing off there. It's a site that you want to hold vertically. If the enemy team, the attacking team, gets control of Meeting, it gets control of Attic, that's game over. That hatch over there that you see opened up next to Hazard, it's going to be big. But RCTIC are going to start working on that pretty immediately and pretty quickly, as they have control of T2, and the wall seems only but muted. So the Thatcher being off the board, we'll see how they're going to deal with that. Of course, you could say, well, just shoot it from below, but that's the bomb site being held thoroughly by TLR. So it's a bomb site that is very vertical, and it's very hard to counter these mute jammers without a Thatcher or a Kali.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. You just have better coverage of Addict when you go Meeting Room, so it's still a great site, like both Yannick and I have mentioned already, but Arctic has to wait for the Nomad, or pardon, the Nomad, NW on the Maverick play to go up above and break that mute jammer. That way they can actually start clearing out the extension from above. Triky's drone will get destroyed, but it's not that big of a deal. He's still somewhat aware of Last Resort's position. It's just a matter on if he can hit his shots for another time in a row. He's waiting quite patiently. He'll throw a couple pop shots, not going to find anything, but he's still holding down that corner quite religiously, so it's really not going to be that big of a deal for Arctic as they finally start allowing that hard destruction to come into play, as the Selmas from behind will get that meeting wall open. If they cover out Meeting Room and above through that hatch, they could go for a possible plant, even more so now as they find the opening frag onto Courage.
Yet again, Arctic with the opening frag, but that hasn't stopped TLR from winning their rounds in the past. One nade going to be eaten up by the ADS, but the second one is going to go all the way through into sight, but does no damage to TLR. You're seeing now TLR very an offside hold as Vip does fall to his demise in the hands of K5 on the Jaeger there. It's back down to a 4v4. We're all square. 50 seconds remaining. A lot of time has been burnt, but they're right on the site's doorstep. Oculus finds on the Kusik, and that's the ace off the board. No more heart destruction, but a beautiful shot by NW. Takes the head off of Oculus, and that's the mute gun of Monks. Follows up with one more in the K5, but this clash is going to be huge. Providing basically no entry for Monks, but the plant's going down, and W's planting is all down to the clash in a 1v3 situation. A post-plant situation now, and Tricky finds the kill, and that's the clash down, and the round down, and RCTIC win their first round in this map. It's 2-1 for TLR still.
Great recovery from RCTIC. They kept their cool that round, and they ended up winning it in the end. Getting that post plant down, I was actually quite surprised because they didn't really clear out up above, but in the end it worked out for them. They still found an opening frag by NW, so in the end that snowball did come into play. So great round win by them. Very crucial as well because we all know how defender favored Oregon is and can be most of the time. That 1-2 split is pretty common for that 3-round rotation, and now we're going to go back to the top floor of kids' dorms. We're not going to have the last resort test their luck once more on one of the more difficult sites to hold. And I believe this is the exact same lap that we saw the previous round on both sides, except for the fact that I believe we saw a Yana pick by Monkeys or someone else on the side of RCTIC, but that's not going to be the case this time.
No, indeed. We're going to switch it up a little bit on the attacker side, but the defensive side stays exactly the same as round number 1. The Valkyrie is still going to place down probably her single Valkyrie cam outside near the street spawn area. We're all going to see that in just a couple of seconds. Courage, meanwhile, just reinforcing the Closet Breach. Closet Breach, of course, being one of the biggest breaches. If you can get that one open, of course, it's standard practice to open that one, but that provides you with such a line of sight into the site. And, of course, games is totally open for you to plant. So that's going to be a breach that RCTIC are definitely going to be focusing on, and we're going to see them focus on just like the first round. NW, though, together with Tricky, are going to be spawning on the construction side again, as they're probably going to try and take tower once more in quite a similar setup from RCTIC as round number 1. So we'll see how this is all going to work out for them.
Once again, they're going for the pincer push, which makes a lot of sense. If you get both the closet and the attic wall opened up, it makes for a very concrete and very simplistic push going into the actual bomb site, and it can really catch some players off guard due to just manpower and having to position yourself in such an awkward way. And already, RCTIC making quick work of that back wall with the Maverick and Ashe combination. K5 will take a minor bit of damage from underneath through a Zofia charge by Rage, but it's not really that big of a deal, though Selma's being activated up on the wall as well. RCTIC, a very quick and pretty precise start so far on round number 4, and they already almost have control of Deer. This is looking to be one of their better rounds, except for, of course, the one round where they actually ended up winning against the last resort, which we just watched a moment ago.
Indeed, but the Courage is gonna get killed by the nade from Monks. What a throw! What a nade kill right there, burning the ADSs with the help of Vip, and Monks just throwing that one nade, killing the Valkyrie, taking him off the board, and yet again the opening kill coming in for RCTIC, excuse me. But the C4 from below could be huge. He blows it, and there it goes. And W, goodbye. We'll see you in heaven, where he's just been blasted off to, and that's your Maverick off the board. No more heart breaching from him, but his work is done in attic.
The equalizer just made by Panicky, a huge C4, might I add, onto the Maverick player of NW. Now in a 4-on-4, and for the most part, RCTIC has to funnel their way in through the Deer doorway, and for the moment speaking, the last resort is in a perfect spot to deny that. We have players sitting all the way in the back of main bunk near that A-bomb chassis. Both K5 and Hazard have a firm grip on that objective room. And a lot of time is being wasted on the side of RCTIC just to double check that they can effectively push into the site and go for that plant. A huge set of frags come out though. Both RCTIC and the ace player of Kusik will find frags of their own, but Panicky is on a tear as he shuts down 2 of his own. A 3K for the Malusi player before he's finally thwarted by Kusik, and now in a 1v2, it's up to Oculus. Beautiful shot though on the Kusik. Now it makes it a 1v1, and Tricky, the entry player on the side of of Arctic has to go for the frag. He's somewhat aware of Arctic's position, but if he misses this up, this could be huge! Oculus will win the 2v1 clutch, and will now go 3-1, favoring the last resort. Cool, calm, and collective by the lone smoke player.
Oculus, what a play there, killing the ace and trophy, dropping the diffuser, and he knew that. And the downfall for the Ashe was that she took some pre-fires, and that gave away her location, because Oculus knew their general direction, but that just gave it all away, and he got the second kill there at the end, finishing off the round. But Arctic, they keep getting the opening kills. They have gotten the opening kill every single round, and they've only managed to win one. We're 4 rounds in. Did you have any idea what that's all about?
At least for the last round, I can have a pretty concrete answer. The thought bubble of having Panicky on that flank, on the flank, I was correct the first time. Having him on that flank the entire time is so worrisome for Arctic. It already guaranteed him 1 kill with his Nitro Cell. You could only imagine what someone with such perfect mechanical skill can do with that 0 recoil MP5, and we literally saw that go into effect. He found a phenomenal double kill, and it was only then stopped by Kusik, and it was almost a win by Arctic, but luckily Oculus was able to clutch it out in a 1v2, so that was definitely one huge factor of that last round. The other ones, though, it might just come down to simply losing their gunfights or just not being in a better position compared to the last resort, because they are very comfortable when it comes to actually anchoring in the site and just ending up refragging what manpower they lost early on in the beginning of these previously held rounds.
This thing is a very good summary of the last round, and just TLR's playstyle in general. Panicky, I keep messing up that name. I don't know why I keep calling him
Words
Panicky.
are hard, man.
I know, names are hard, man. Holy shit. Excuse me, holy crap, excuse me. Panicky, excuse me, Panicky, with the bullet holes, just trying to see if he can get a sneaky kill there through the wall, but nobody's coming in through blue just yet. Arctic are focusing their efforts on tower, and after that they're going to focus on the meeting, trying to get that hatch open, probably with NW yet again, as they did in round number 2. It's a very, very similar push here from Arctic.
Other than having their manpower refrag, this is a pretty good start for Arctic. They found a double kill by the hands of Triggy, and they got there we have it, the opening frag coming into effect once more in the hands of Arctic by sides of Arctic. This could be all over for them if they cannot end up just winning by manpower and manpower alone, and that's not going to be the case. Courage is on a tear right now from above on the flank. You gotta watch for those repositions, as it's a huge 3K for Courage, and it's all up to Monk S in a 1v4. Oh my god, Courage on the flank of Smoke on that deep roam. That was such a fantastic play by the mute player. And there's basically just a minute on the clock. We might just see a timeout come into effect.
What a 3K from Courage on the flank. I saw him up in attic just as the observer was passing through the building here, and I thought you saw him, but damn, what a play from him. He's on some another level with that relocation. Monks is stuck in a 1v4 situation. Time is not on his side right now, sticking down closer to 0, and he is just running back to spawn, I think. He's just having a timeout, and this is a conscious decision. This is Arctic taking a timeout for themselves. They can discuss some team tactics, discuss what they're going to do next round, discuss what they can improve, because this did not go to plan. Courage just absolutely decimating that plan, getting that 3K. I can't believe what we just saw. Timer is hitting 0. He's saving that KD, as Hazard is pointing out. He's just sitting here by the car. He wants to go home. I think that's what's happening right now. For this round, at least, he wants to go home.
He's going to drive away from Oregon. I don't blame him. Wants to get away from the American countryside, return back to his roots. I don't blame the guy, but the last resort, they're keeping Arctic on their toes time and time again, and it's funny, because We saw that same exact position be droned out the first time Basement was defended by the Last Resort, and then RCTIC just got sloppy with their work and didn't decide to double check it the second time around, and it was such a huge blunder. It ended up costing them the round entirely because they could not recover from such a massive blow, and now they're down 4-1 currently, a 3-round deficit, or actually, no, it's 5-1, my mistake. I can't quite see the round history. That's just, again, oh no, I was right the first time, 4-1.
No, 4-1, 4-1, yeah.
Yeah, you know, words are hard, I can confirm. You know, I'm right there with you, man, but a 3-round deficit, that's not all that good, but there's still a little bit of hope for RCTIC. If they can win this round, it'll be a common 4-2 split, and they will still have a